65 of us, Alison goes through that, and then Rane Moodley, who's the solution specialist for devices for education. They sort of go to right around Windows 10. Thank you very much. And we've got some evaluation forms. You can just fill them out before you.
Thanks, Rane. So, as we've already been introduced, what I'm going to do is just first. Make sure I got that noise. One, we're going to keep the session very interactive. I do have slides, but let's have a conversation. Let's keep it open. But first, we'll start off the first 5-10 minutes talking about Windows, and then we'll talk around Office 365 and the rest of that. So, Rane?
Hi guys, how are you doing today? Nice and warm, right? I'm pleasing the whole day. Okay, so yeah, thank you for the introduction, Glenda. I used to be the commercial product marketing manager of South Africa, and I transitioned to people in the education team, focusing on devices in the education sector. So Microsoft has a whole bunch of programs that support our education customers in terms of buying affordable devices. Now, I know the hashtag is please must fall, and then obviously the bang for the buck you actually look at in terms of making sure that you maximize investments. So at Microsoft, we run a program called Shape the Future, which is basically designed for our education customers when they're procuring devices. If you are looking at procuring a volume of 3,000 devices or more in a one-year period, you actually qualify for a preferred pricing on the base operating system. Now, when you buy a device, it comes with a hard drive, the motherboard, the daughter board, the RAM, etc. Basically, what happens is that included in that cost is the base operating system. So, if you have a schools agreement or don't have a schools agreement, this is independent. But basically, I discount the price of that base operating system onto that particular unit. You can buy it for your administration offices, you can buy it for your faculty members, you'll be able to buy it for your students. But as long as that is the education customer that is actually making the procurement of the devices, I'll be able to support and discount in that price itself. My contact details, you have to get it from Glenda at any given time, but it's rane@microsoft.com, RANEM@microsoft.com. And you can contact me at any time in order to find out more insights into it. Just before I hand over to Damien, as you know, the Windows 10 product was released last year. It's an evolving product, and we're updating it with newer functionalities and features as we move along. When we launched the product last year, July, we actually gave it for free. How many of us are aware of this? We got Windows 7 or Windows 8.1, you actually get Windows 10 for free. That upgrade, or the free upgrade, will stop at the end of July 2016. So my suggestion is, please communicate this to the students that they have access in order to have Windows 10 for free. In November, we launched the enterprise functionalities, bringing in newer type of encryption tools called enterprise data protection, which is file encryption itself. So agnostic BitLocker was protection of the device and the data on the device. But if you're looking at the next type of generation of file encryption, it's built in natively into Windows 10 enterprise data protection. And if you want more information, please contact me on this. As we transition or bring in newer features onto the Windows 10 operating system, we'll start seeing more focus onto the education segment itself. And that's built-in functionalities natively onto the Windows 10 platform, especially for education customers. With that, I'd like to hand off to you. No questions, right? Any questions?
Of course. Thanks, Rane. Thank you. So, I think there's some great insights when thinking about what your next device purchase is going to look like. Have a conversation with Rane and see how we can help you with that strategy internally. As I was introduced earlier, my name is Damien. Nelson-Higley. I am one of the office product teams here at Microsoft South Africa. And today we're going to talk around Microsoft's vision and productivity in education itself. And I think like any good vision, we need to start off with understanding what our vision is, what the actual vision and insight and goal that we're trying to achieve, which is very simple, right? It's a very simple mission that is derived from our global company vision, but essentially it says, empower every student and teacher on the planet to achieve and do more. 20-odd years ago, Bill Gates came out with a vision, a PC on every desk. We're very confident that we're a long way down that road, and so it's time to evolve our mission itself, and this is what we have in the education sector. So, starting with that, I think it's good to understand where we are focused and where we are building our conversations, where we're building our products, and the focus that we have for that. And it comes in those 5 key areas down at the bottom. So business intelligence, enterprise social, mobility, control and compliance, and then overall technology. And so we got our friends at Gartner just to do some insights into that and ask our customers and our partners what that means, what it actually means from a value, from a money perspective, and they came back with some results. But essentially the key points to this: effective productivity is not just a tool on a desktop, it's not just Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, it's so much more. It's around process, it's around how do we manage, how do we engage, how do we engage from anywhere on any device at any time. That's real productivity. Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, I'm very thankful for that everyone has chosen that as their standard to use as tools, but that's not defining productivity. And so we break it down into these 5 areas. If we build out on those tools, Office 2016 is not just the latest version of Office. It's not just the refresh that we do every 3 years, but it's a tool that helps people collaborate in real time. It's a tool that allows people to share live documentation with each other from any device at any time. It's a tool that allows me to access my Word, my Excel, my PowerPoint documents on any device. So that whether it be a Windows-based phone or tablet or PC, whether it be an iOS device, whether it be an Android device, whether it be a Mac device, whatever it might be. And building out from there, we keep on innovating on new tools that we introduce into the education sector. Things like OneNote, the ultimate note-taking tool. Things like Office Mix, a free plugin into PowerPoint that allows you to turn your classroom and those traditional PowerPoint presentations into more than just slides like we're looking at today, but rather interactive engagements that allows you to get real-time feedback on how students are engaging with that. But not only that, turn your classroom into an experience that allows students to consume that content, once again, from anywhere at any time. And Office Sway, the first new Office product that we've launched in 13 years, that allows us to take our traditional products like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint and take them to the next step. Allow us to engage with that digital content that we go and create in a way that feels natural for us to engage with. Gestures like swiping, gestures like following hyperlinks, including videos from online platforms like YouTube or Vimeo, or online digital content from things like OneDrive or Dropbox or whatever that might be, or even social media like Twitter and in the future Facebook. All of these are sources that we all engage with every day. And the idea of our tools is bringing those into the workplace and into the school place to allow us to engage in an effective way that makes learning easier. When we think of, from a productivity perspective, when we think about our engagements, we break it down into 4 areas. Right? And those 4 areas are educators, students, administrators, and facilities. And each one of those have their own requirements and their own problems and their own issues that they're facing with in every day. I'm not going to read through them. You guys will be able to have this content. You'll be able to watch this video at another time. But I'd like to call out a couple of those around being able to reach more students from an educator perspective. Being able to access my content and my class notes and my other classmates from wherever I am at any time. Being able to effectively manage my projects that I'm running inside of facilities to make sure that we're running under budget, in line, and effectively, and from an administrative perspective, being able to deliver whoever and however my students are wanting. And to understand vision is a very good thing, and to understand where we're going is a very good thing. But what we often do inside of Microsoft is skip a very important step. And so I thought I'd take you through that step today to ensure that everyone understands what we're talking about when we talk about this vision, how we look and how we see the future and what that's made up of. So before we get there, we need to understand the basics. And so it's a little stretch, thing to skew, but does anyone recognize that? If you don't have to lie, make me feel good and say yes. No? Okay, fantastic. So for those who don't recognize that, for those who do, this is my Office 365 home screen. Every day when I open my machine, this is what I log into. When I open my internet browser of choice, in this case Edge, it can be Chrome, it can be Firefox, it can be Safari, whatever it is, this is what I'm greeted with. Firstly, very polite. Good afternoon, Damien. Very polite. And it gives me the ability to search through all my documentation that I've worked on recently. At the bottom, it gives me access to all my recent documents. But I often sit with the myth that Office 365 is 2 things. 1, it's email. Not wrong, but not completely correct. And two, it's Office, it's my new version of Office, that's all it is. And so today I wanted to make sure that we all understood exactly what Office 365 is, what it means, and what it has the capabilities to do. So firstly, we're not wrong, and you can't really see it, but things like Mail, Outlook, Category, Task Management. Everything that is built inside of what we call Exchange is in Office 365. It's a 50 gig mailbox. It's an unlimited archive. It includes all the rights management features that you might need. It includes all the data loss prevention features that you might need around Exchange. It gives you the ability to access your data and content and email from any device, mobile phone, laptop, tablet. As long as it's got a mail client, you can get it. It allows you to share calendars. It allows you to book meeting rooms, book resources. All of that functionality is all built into Office 365. It also has an enterprise social network, a network that you can close off for the institution and give your students and teachers a platform to do unstructured engagement, but use terminology and functionality that they use every day in their personal lives. Things like the ability to follow a hashtag, the ability to add someone to get their attention, to send them a direct message, the inclusion of persistent chat, very similar to the likes of Facebook, to ensure you always have a way to engage. But most importantly, it gives you a platform that you can use to share, you can use to collaborate, that you can use as a resource library, a single experience that allows me to log in, ask a question, get a response, follow people that share interesting content, create a group specific for my subject in my class where I can invite everyone in. It gives that entire experience in a safe and secure environment that's closed off just for our institution. But we take that one step further and we allow you to make what we call external networks. That says, I want an external network that I can engage with other people who aren't in my university, but I still want that control. And we can manage that on experience. With any good cloud solution, as everyone knows, we also give every single user, whether it be student, staff, or faculty, 1 terabyte of cloud storage for their My Documents as such. Right? So the PowerPoint presentations, the Excel workbooks, the Word documents, the PDFs, the content, the notes, whatever it might be that you're creating as either a student or teacher or whatever it might be, have a place to store that. Because I need that central place. I need that location to store my stuff if I'm going to access it from any device whenever I want. I can't have my documents living on this device if I also want to access it from this device. Case in point, before you all got here, I was having my final smoke, I was making one final pass on this presentation. But I could do that because I have OneDrive, where the presentation is stored, and PowerPoint on my phone. That 1 terabyte allows you to share internally, allows me to share externally, and allows me to manage permissions in real time. So today I can share with Rane, but tomorrow I can revoke that sharing of permissions. Or Rane can then share with other people from my share if I've given him permissions to do so. The little squiggly line at the top highlights something else, which is Skype. Our instant messaging, our voice conferencing, our meetings, our telepresence, all that wonderful built into one tool that is included as well. We also include SharePoint, and I'm sure everyone knows about SharePoint, which is document management, it's workflows, it's team sites, it's everything that you want it to be, because it's based on simple HTML5 code that allows you to go and develop that platform for yourself. But as Microsoft, we continuously develop on this platform as well. And so we've introduced 2 new products from that service called Office 365 Video and Delve. Office 365 Video pretty much is what it sounds like. It's a service for an institution to go store all their video content that inherits all the same permissions as a class, as an institution, whatever it might need, that has real-time telemetry support to understand who's watching, where they're watching. It includes a Yammer experience newsfeed to get real-time feedback on what people are engaging around that particular subject. But it gives you that secure platform. Instead of having to go externally once again, you can get that control to manage that experience that you need. And Delve, well, Delve is the first tool that we built on top of SharePoint using functionality and a platform called Office Graph. And what Office Graph essentially does is it starts to connect the people inside of the institution to understand how they come together. Rane and I are on the same team, but we work together. So there's a dotted line between us. Same as Glenda, and often multiple people inside the organization. So when I open Delve, one, it looks a lot like Pinterest. Boards everywhere that I pin for information that's relevant to me. But the first thing it does is present all the content that I have access to on one single free pane that I can look at. Whether it be a Word document, a PowerPoint presentation, whatever it is, one simple doc, I open that Delve experience, I log in, and I get to see all my content in one place. We also have all of our traditional tools, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint that everyone knows and loves, available through this web portal as well. So I'm on a device that doesn't have Office for some reason. That doesn't mean I shouldn't have the best Office experience. And so we include Word, Excel, and PowerPoint included as well. We also continue to innovate and develop new tools, and that's where things like OneNote and Sway come in, also available directly through the web browser experience. We have project management. I talked about facilities a little bit earlier. You'll be able to do resource pooling, project management, portfolio management. You'll be able to assess costings of projects and how it's going to work, running over budget, under budget, etc., all from the power of the single portal. But not everything is a project. And so we're very proud to introduce planning, which is a step down from project, but essentially is work management, where I have a group of people that I need to work with that aren't necessarily all on the same team, but I need to be able to assign tasks. We need to be able to share content. We need a centralized note-taking tool. All of that comes with inside of Planner. The integration of Planner directly back into Outlook tasks means when someone assigns me a task in Planner, it's automatically populating my Exchange tasks, which automatically comes into Outlook. CRM, obviously, from a student management, from a public management, from an all-round public and facilities and student management experience, CRM can once again be developed. Thank you, Glenda. Delivered through the same experiences, through the same portal. Power BI, from a dashboarding, from an insights, from an information management and dashboarding experience. Power BI allows you to create that portal and those dashboards that you need to have. Publishing inside SharePoint, use the app on the phone, whatever it is. It's a great another tool to manage all those business insights that you might have. And then we've also introduced two new tools that we're busy working on. They're both in preview, but you can have access to them. One's called Power Apps and one is called Flow. Flow is essentially what it sounds like. It's an if this, then that scenario. So if I get an email from somebody, make an opportunity somewhere, email somebody else, store the document somewhere else, it's a simple drag and drop if this, then that tool that allows you to control the workflows in your institution. And in Power Apps is a way to develop and take information gathering applications like forms and tools and everything else that necessarily would be driven to a web browser experience or whatever else, be able to publish those Power Apps experience yourself as an institution. So you can have a request form that you can have directly on your phone that you can manage, that you can have a container of all your apps in one place. But it's simply, it gives an institution the ability to create their own content, their own apps that they get to manage without going to third parties. And like any other good web service, it obviously has a store, where there are a multitude of apps that have already been written by our partners and by other customers that are, some are free, some are paid for, but they're everything from an automatic leave process that someone's already run to things like Nintex from a workflow management perspective, to things like diaries and calculators and times or whatever it is, it can be found inside of the store. And so those are all the online services that are included in Office 365. So it's not just email, right? It's much, 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 much more than email. But you don't have to use all of them. You can switch on some of the services. But I wanted to get across that there's so much more than just an email service included in that. But also, I use ink and show that you can do this as well. I don't have a great handwriting, but the point is simple. Office 2016 or Office 365 Plus is also included in our Office 365 service. So to get that latest and best Office experience, you can simply log into the portal and download it from one central location. If we think about what this means, yes? This one. Flow. Flow. Yes. What is it? Oh, okay. So Flow is what we call an if this, then that application, which simply says if something happens, do a whole bunch of other stuff based on that requirement. So I'll think about it this way. We're currently at the University of Johannesburg. What they could do is they could set up a Twitter feed, and they could monitor Twitter with this tool. Every time someone uses the hashtag UJ or whatever it might be, Bismuth is a great example, we can send a notification to somebody else and they can say, hey, this has happened via email or whatever, and we can then separately to that go and create an opportunity in CRM for management around that particular thing that's happening, and then at the same time we can also respond to the tweet if we wanted to. So it's a workflow management that interacts with multiple tools, not just Office 365 or Microsoft tools, things like Twitter, Facebook, Dropbox, OneDrive, SharePoint, Twilio, Tweetio, all these different services. And we leave the API open that you can then go and develop your own plugins and services for that as well. Any other questions for me? Yeah. So, very simply, every single service that is now outside Office 365 is available through the web browser, and their enhancement of that functionality is done by the use of the Office 2016 or 365 Pro Plus client itself for the desktop. So from this experience, if I was a student, I'd log in and I could have this. I would see every single one of my tools that I was given access to. I'd have the ability to install Office on that device that I'm using, and if it's not that device I want to use, I'd also be able to send myself an SMS to say, hey, here's the download link for that particular store that I might be using. And so, I think it's good to understand where we come from. And we used to have a multitude of answers and offerings and services and SKUs and all this wonderful Microsoft terminology stuff that really, you don't really care about. And so we had E1, we had E3, we had E4. Some are free, some at costs, and all this wonderful stuff. And during the course of last year, it was officially 1st of September, we took the stance that we wanted to ensure that every student, every teacher, and every single institution was not blocked from using Office 365 because of a cost associated to the service. Please watch this transition. I'm very proud of this one. Look at that. So every single service that I just showed you is absolutely free for every academic institution, South Africa, the world. Right? Whether that be their 50 gig email box with the Unlimited archive, whether that be the instant messaging platform with Skype, whether it be SharePoint, whether it be Flow, the gentleman asked us around, every single one of those services is absolutely free. It's as simple as going to office.com/education and you can sign up and it's done. We make sure you're a real institution, we follow the process, but it's as simple as that. The one thing you'll see that's not free is right at the bottom, you can see Office 365 Pro Plus, which is that Office 2016 client I just spoke about. You can see there's a small nominal fee associated to that, $1.50 for students, $2 per month for faculty, and that's there if you wanted to invest in it. But luckily what we've done as Microsoft is we've taken it one step further and we said, okay, for every single academic institution that invests in Office for their faculty, right, which is pretty much 95%, 98% of institutions in South Africa. Every single one of those then has the ability to give their students and faculty Office 365 Pro Plus for free. So we think about a real world example here. Imagine I have 6,000 faculty members and I bought Office for all of those, but I have 55,000 students. Because I invested for my faculty, every single one of those students, all 55,000, would be able to download a copy of Office for free. They can have that copy of Office on their laptop, on a PC or on a Mac. So it's 5 PCs or Macs, 5 tablets, and 5 phones. So one subscription per user gives them that. Yes?
So if I'm logged into Office 365 and I can't see the project online,
100%.
that's just not being enabled on our side.
100%. So there are a couple of things that we do. Obviously, that's my real portal that I showed you right now. And so inside of Microsoft, we give every employee everything that's possible, as well as we give them access to things that are in preview to allow them to play around and manage that kind of experience. What some people do is don't give access to certain tools inside of it, so you can simply go and check the box. So for things that are in preview, there is another little checkbox that the institution needs to enable to say, I'm happy to test preview product. But everything on that list that you can see, including projects, including flow, all those services will be available for free. Has anyone got any questions? Because surely this has got some people interested. Yes? Free services, cloud-based, yeah.
The guys who trained yesterday mentioned that if you decide to enable the preview option at your campus, then it's available to get.
So there's 3 ways to enable the preview. There's 1, to not enable the preview. 2, enable it for everyone. 3, enable it for a set bunch of people. So that is certainly available. Okay. So you can choose the preview bunch and users and stuff that you would like. So all my services online, absolutely free, and because everyone in this room, I'm pretty sure, invested to Office for their faculty, the Office 365 for a Plus client, absolutely free as well. Yeah. So everyone's got it, everyone's services, so everything on the board right now is absolutely free. But like any good cloud service, Office 365 is continually innovating on the products and the services that it offers. So last year, November, we started to think about 3 new stacks of product that we want to talk about. Yes?
I needed you to tell me more about.
Sure. What would you like to know?
From what I have, is great according to.
Yeah. So if we think about the Office 365 experience, when you sign up for a trial, we'll make what we call a vanity domain for you. So we'll make it whatever you call it on Microsoft.com. You certainly have your own ability to bring in your own domain into that experience, and then we link the Yammer to that domain that you've brought in. So, for instance, our Yammer domain is Microsoft.com, because that's our global domain. So you can manage that.
Can students use it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
With a Gmail account.
So, and this is where it gets a little tricky. One of the key parts of Yammer is being able to manage the identities of the people who are using the service. So in other words, I need to be able to share something with Rane on Yammer. I need to be able to type his name in, and it needs to go and search my user list, and it needs to go and find Rane from there. I can certainly invite external people, i.e. in this case, the Gmails, the Outlook.coms, the whatevers, into an external network, and you can create one of those, and then they can use those login credentials to access that network. Yeah.
Okay, so the PSTN is not free. Everything on the board is free.
So everything on the board, excuse me, sorry, this one sneaks in every now and then. The full voice of PSTN, there is a nominal cost, but we'll actually get to that on the next slides, which is kind of been involved into with E5, but that's an internal product. There is a cost to it. Essentially, that license over there, the $1.50, will buy you the rights to use the Skype for Business client on your desktop. Sorry, on your on-premise environment of Skype deployment that you have already deployed on-premise. Because up until a certain point, i.e. now, we haven't talked around PSTN calling inside of Office 365. That functionality will be coming at a later stage, and we'll talk about it in a second. Yeah. So, quite briefly, that $1.50 at the bottom enables you to plug into your existing on-premise Skype for Business and give the ability to use those services. So we thought about how do we need to deliver and services and innovation that we needed to focus on, and we came up with these 3 verticals. So security, analytics, and voice. From a security perspective, things like advanced enterprise protection, allowing you to protect your institution against malware and viruses, using things like safe links and zero-day threats management, gain enhanced visibility and control into Office 365 around who's using your information, where is it being accessed from, how it's being accessed, etc. And we came up with 4 new services inside of that security platform, things like advanced threat protection, advanced security management, the customer lockbox, and advanced discovery. And from advanced threat protection, that's what I talked around with safe links and zero-day. From advanced security management, around high risk and abnormal usage, around documentation files and content and where it's being accessed from. Customer lockbox is essentially the ability for you to have that full control of the content that you're looking for. Because I know one of the big risks in the cloud is who has access to my content, how is it controlled? Well, the customer lockbox enables you to block out information and specifically give access to certain parts of that information to people at certain times. And advanced e-discovery, building out on the e-discovery case that we already have in Office 365, but just more dashboarding information, more insights into that platform. On the analytics side, just essentially the ability to use the data that we have, because there is so much data that we have inside the institution. To be able to use that for effective decision making is important. And so we included Power BI Pro from the dashboarding tool, and then Delve Analytics to understand exactly how people are engaging with each other, how much time am I spending in class, how much time am I spending in meetings, when I'm in that meeting, how much time am I spending doing email when I'm doing that meeting, just to get an understanding exactly how I'm spending my time and how we're managing and collaborating. And then lastly, from a voice perspective, it's advancing the services that we have inside of Office 365 and Skype for Business to give us that one single platform that does everything. From instant messaging, from presence, multi-party conferencing, one-on-one video and voice, to what we'll talk around here, which is around to do PSD and conferencing. So one of the biggest requests that we got inside of Skype for Business was the ability to join via a number, even if I don't have existing infrastructure. Even if I don't have an on-premise PBX, give me a number, Microsoft. Not everyone has access to the internet. Not everyone has access to Skype on that device. So with PSD and conferencing, we publish a local number for people to connect into, and instead of having to pay for the connection into that from the party that uses it, plus the other people that connect into it, pay per user cost for that. And their minutes are charged to that particular person. Cloud PBX is the evolution of the management of that identity for the teacher, faculty member, administration, whatever it might be. Because if you think about that engagement, how it's happening right now, we're using our on-premise PBXs and we're assigning numbers there, but then we're going into Office 365 and we're not connecting the two dots. With Cloud PBX, I have the ability in my user management portal of Office 365 to assign numbers of my existing on-premise PBX, just to create that management and control between the two. And then the last one is what you mentioned now, sir, around PSD reporting. The ability to have no on-premise infrastructure whatsoever and use Office 365 as your dial in and dial out plans for all users who want to have that service. With that, it's not in South Africa right now. We are working on it. And our financial year started 4 days ago, and runs until next year, June. In FY17, which is our financial year, we are working on having PSD calling in South Africa at that time, which will give you the ability to buy a calling plan, either local or domestic or international, sorry, assign that to a user, and that be all for them. They have a fair usage policy, which is around 3,000 minutes, and that'll give them the ability to make local calls. And if you give them the international dialing plan, that'll give them the ability to make international calls. You'll be able to purchase numbers from Microsoft. You'll be able to bring us your existing numbers, all of those services directly out of Office 365. And so it evolves from just everything free to a new set of services. You can see at the bottom the analytics, the cloud PBX, the PSD conferencing, the PSD calling right at the bottom there, the Azure Rights Management, and there is a fee, $6 for students, $8 for faculty. I'm of the ability and the opinion that it will work for some, and the ability to associate and mix and match is where our real value is at. So the ability to assign E5 licenses and invest in those for the smaller bunch that you feel is the value that it needs to be added to, and the free services for the rest, that's absolutely okay. We don't mind that at all. If we think about the difference in how it works and where we come up with the costing, if we buy the products all individually, you can see there it's $16 per user per month. If you have a look at the bundle, as little as $8 for that functionality. So, I'm in time. I'm running quite well, and this is my last slide. So some call to action. So I'm going to do just perhaps some homework if you don't mind it being called that. One, Office 365 is for free. There's nothing stopping us going right now, going to office.com, signing up for the services, and getting started with that experience. Nothing wrong with us doing that at all. We can start that journey, and we can certainly help you as Microsoft. Don't forget the Pro Plus offer that we have, right? You bought Office already for your faculty. Let's make use of those free Office licenses. This year alone, in the last 12 months, we've given just shy of 200 million rands worth of licenses to university students in the last 12 months alone. So make sure that we're using that. I do have something called Fast Track, which is our assistant engine that enables you guys to onboard into the Office 365 service and start to bounce ideas off them, and they will help you onboard into the service by helping you migrate MX records, helping you create users, doing all that wonderful stuff. They won't do any of the work, but they'll help you through it and make sure you're on the right process. And then a Microsoft CIE is important for us to remember, because that's the platform where you can come into our institution at Microsoft and you can see how do we use Skype, how do we use Outlook, how do we use Project, how do we use all these wonderful tools inside of Microsoft, and what does a day in the life of a Microsoft person look like. And with that, take my details. That's me. Okay. If anyone's on the Twitter sphere, you can follow me on Twitter at DJNelsonZA. My email address is danel@microsoft.com. And lastly, there is my office number. How great is that? 001-361-8032. Because I have Skype for Business, if you phone that, I'm not at my desk, it'll ring my cell phone. So you'll get through to me anywhere you need.
Any questions? Okay, so I've given out evaluation forms. Please, if you could fill them out for me, just hand them in. Those who couldn't work, you can speak.